What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update and daily news report for Tuesday, June 15th. So today I have a bunch of information that I want to give you. First off, big news finally happening. The IRS has opened the non-filer portal for the child tax credit payment. So if you didn't file your 2019 or 2020 federal income tax returns and you didn't put in any information into the non-filer tool, then this is the portal for you. And I'm going to address this in just a minute. We're also going to talk about how there's likely going to be rent increases across the United States. We're already seeing that. I want to talk about how a handful of lawmakers at this point are actually calling for survival checks, as this is different than the normal stimulus checks. I want to explain why that is in just a second. And I'm going to break down what Bernie Sanders is saying and why he is not in favor of a current bipartisan infrastructure package. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching, but let's get into the update for today. First, the IRS has opened up their child tax credit payment portal. Now, here's what is actually going to happen in this portal. The IRS says that you need to use this and you need to put in key information for yourself and your children in order to get your child tax credit payments of either $250 per month or $300 per month. It depends on the age of your child. Now, if you have a child that's between 0 and 5, you will receive $300 per month or $3,600 per year. If you have a child between 6 and 17, it will be $250 per month or $3,000 per year. So here's what the IRS is saying that you need. First, when you go and use this portal, if you haven't put in any information in the tax exempt non-filer portal, whatever, then if you haven't done that or you haven't filed your 2019 or 2020 tax return, you must do this. You need to put your full name, current mailing address, email address, date of birth, social security numbers of your dependents, okay? That's key, of your dependents. And you need to put in a bank account number, type of bank account, whether it's savings or checking, and a routing number. You could potentially have to put in the IRS PIN if you have one as well. So that's what the IRS is saying that you will need, but just keep in mind, in 1 month from today, 1 month, that is when the payments should start hitting our bank accounts for these child tax credit payments. So just keep that in mind. If you have children, this is important. You need to go and put in this information if you didn't file your 2019 and 2020 tax return. Again, if you did those, then you will automatically start getting the payment. So it's good news there. Now, let's talk about rent and the rental increases. Here's what we're hearing. Landlords right now are actually looking for ways to recoup their costs. One of the things that they will be doing, because many landlords are seeing it's very difficult to get rental assistance, and so they will not be keeping their renters in their property. One of the things that they will do as soon as the federal eviction moratorium is over and their eviction moratoriums are over in their certain states, they will be evicting their tenants. Now, one thing I can tell you is that rents, their rates are going to increase. This is something that we've been seeing over the past few months here in the United States, and chances are bigger cities will see this and see a sharp increase, and it will happen almost instantly. So just keep that in mind. One thing I just want to point out, Airbnb stated the other day that they will not allow landlords to evict a tenant from their property and then go and list their property on Airbnb for nightly rentals. They will not allow them to do that. So I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna figure that out, but that is something that they said just the other day. Now, one thing I just want to kind of warn you guys on is if we see a mass eviction, right, throughout the United States or even in your city, just understand people are, even though they got evicted from one property, it doesn't necessarily mean they can't go into a new property. And that's where landlords are going to be very, it's going to be difficult to get properties because landlords are going to be looking into this and wondering, why are you looking for a new property right now? Maybe you just got a job back or whatever. Maybe your income isn't very high. You don't have any past resources. You don't have a history of renting. In some cases, the landlord would look at that and be like, well, it almost seems like they're trying to hide something. So it's gonna be difficult to get properties. And so if you are looking for a new apartment, just understand you may have to put in multiple applications. You may get denied on a few, or somebody else may get picked over you, but just understand this is the kind of economy that we're in. This is the climate that we're in right now. So just keep that in mind as you're looking. Now, let's get into the stimulus checks, because this is something that a lot of people have been asking for. And if you look in any of my videos, look down in the comments, you see people are asking, what about us? What about us on Social Security and SSI and SSDI and your veterans? And it's true. The American people have been, or especially people on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, even veterans, have been being overlooked. And this has been going on for the past year. It's ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. But what lawmakers are now calling for, they're not calling for stimulus checks. Okay, even though, yes, the fourth stimulus check would be great, they want survival checks. Now, what is a survival check? Well, here's what we know. This has been a changing position for about a year. Okay, it seems like right now, lawmakers, mainly Democrats, or pretty much all Democrats, there might be a couple Republicans, but we don't hear much from them, and really they have no power, so why really talk about Republicans at this point? What I can tell you is this position has been changing for about a year. What it seems like now, and according to reports, is Democrats are trying to figure out a way to get the more moderates on board. And one of the ways they can do that, according to reports, is they cannot go after stimulus checks. According to a few congressional staffers who didn't want to be named, they are saying that stimulus checks are highly unlikely because the economy doesn't need any additional stimulus. They say it is currently at risk of overheating, which it is, which is true. Why would Congress pass an additional stimulus check and risk the economy overheating when according to reports, the economy doesn't need any additional stimulus? And today, and over the next probably few weeks, the Federal Reserve is going to be contemplating whether they can kind of cut back on their stimulus, stop buying, all this stuff, right? And again, we're not getting to that, but they're going to look into that. Can they pull back the stimulus that they're providing? And some say yes, they can do that, but how quickly will they start to taper off? And that's one of the big questions. So here's what we're hearing. Right now, according to these few congressional staffers, they say a survival check isn't out of the question. It is not out of the question, simply because it will help people survive, help people get through this pandemic, help them pay for essentials. That's the purpose of this next check. We cannot call it a stimulus check because, according to Senate or moderates in Congress right now, specifically in the Senate, and that's Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, they don't want to hear about a stimulus check because the economy doesn't need additional stimulus. The economy is bouncing back just fine. So we will see what happens, but this just shows how messed up Congress is, because all it does is come down to the verbiage of the bill. That's what matters at this point, is how it looks to the voters. So we'll see. But this is part of the reason why not just passing any additional stimulus or more direct payments to the American people, this is the reason why passing an infrastructure package at this point is being seen as a very, very tough sell. So let's get into the infrastructure package news. Here's what we know. Senator Bernie Sanders, he stated the other day, he will not vote for the infrastructure package if it's going to be a bipartisan bill. Now, you'd probably think, well, if it's bipartisan, why wouldn't we vote for it, right? Well, according to Bernie Sanders, he says that it doesn't do enough to address the needs of the country, and it shields the wealthy from tax increases, which essentially it does. Sanders also went on to say that that he wants to see the wealthy pay for this bill because he says they have been getting by for far too long without paying their fair share. Again, it's true. If you look at the tax rate, how much Jeff Bezos were to pay in taxes based off what he makes in a year, the percentage of that, it is extremely low. Versus somebody like you and I that may be paying 20, 30, 40% in taxes, right? That's the difference. The upper class, the wealthy, the multimillionaires and billionaires are paying very little compared to somebody that makes, let's say, $20,000 to $50,000 per year. We pay a lot more. So we'll see. Bernie Sanders also is saying that any bipartisan infrastructure package won't have what the country needs to get us to where we want to go. And on Twitter, just today, he had this to say, and I quote, "While 90 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured, and while 600,000 died in the pandemic, the CEOs of 6 healthcare insurance companies made a combined $236 million in 2020, 45% more than in 2019. This is why we need Medicare for all." Now, I wanted to read this to you because Bernie Sanders is not just fighting for additional stimulus checks. He's not just fighting for, hey, let's tax the wealthy. He is fighting for a purpose, and the purpose behind it and the reason why he wants to tax the wealthy is to pay for the infrastructure package. So he actually has a plan. He's not just throwing out certain ideas and hoping somebody will come up with the details. Bernie Sanders, if you asked him for the plan, his plan, he could give it to you. Many lawmakers couldn't do that. So he is fighting for exactly what he says. He's fighting to see dental, vision, and hearing included into Medicare. He wants to see the eligibility age drop from 65 down to 60. And we'll see how this plays out. But experts do anticipate that these changes will be included at some point since not much has been given to the elderly and people on SSI and SSDI throughout this past year. And you guys have stated this before and you continue to state it every single day, that why are people on Social Security, SSI, SSDI being left out? Why are we always being the last ones to get anything? And it's true. Bernie Sanders, well, seems like he has your back. So we are also hearing that over sometime this week, once President Biden comes back, we will most likely get Democrats. There's House Democrats that have a new bill. They're going to propose that to President Biden. They're waiting for him to come back so they can propose it to him in person. The bipartisan group of senators, this includes, Senator Mitt Romney, Joe Manchin, Susan Collins, Rob Portman, people like that. They're also waiting on President Biden to come back before they can propose the bill to him. We also have a group of, it's going to be a bipartisan group. It's the Problem Solvers Caucus with 58 members. This also, they have another bill that they want to propose to President Biden. The problem is they still have to wait for him to come back. So there's 3 different groups as of right now that are waiting to propose a bill. We also know that according to the GOP, they're not done negotiating. They will continue to push for their package. The problem is President Biden has very little interest in hearing what they have to say because he believes, and the Biden administration believe, that they're just too far away and they would never come to an agreement. So we'll see what happens there. What I can tell you is this should happen sometime this week. Again, it's only Tuesday. We got a lot of time left this week, and I anticipate we will have many answers or many questions answered this week as well. In other news, California has actually completely opened. As of today, Governor Gavin Newsom says that they are open. If you've been vaccinated, you do not need a mask. He's lifting capacity limits. He's lifting restrictions. He's lifting other limits. Right now, California is completely open. And this has a lot of people very excited for what is to come. As they say, California was the state that was hit the hardest due to the fact that they had multiple lockdowns and extreme mask mandates. So I just want to ask you guys, if you live in California or if you plan on visiting California this summer, what are you most excited for? What are you excited for? You excited to go to Disneyland, maybe SeaWorld, just visit the beach, go shopping, go eat out with a bunch of your friends and not be restricted as to where you eat, how many sit at a table, or how close you are? I'm just curious. Let me know what you guys are most excited for this upcoming summer, whether you're in California, you plan on visiting, or maybe you're in a different state. Let me know what you're excited for. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to, spend some time with friends, family, travel. It's been a very tough year. Hopefully we can get back to normal very soon. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for watching. You guys are incredible. Thank you for always hitting that like button. It really does help out the channel. Also, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.